Let's call the neighborhood development meeting to order, please.
Alderman Moore. Alderwoman Howard.
Aye. Here, present.
Alderwoman Hubbard. Alderwoman Murphy. Here. Alderwoman Spencer. Present. Alderman Guenther.
We only have four.
Alderman Oldenburg.
Present.
Alderman Cone. President Reed. You have 5 present, sir.
Excellent. 2, 3, 4. Okay, we have a pretty short agenda, so let's take these in order that they're here. Is
Who's carrying Williamson?
anyone carrying Alderman Williamson's bills? He has 2 here. Ah, please come. Yes, we do
We need an
actually.
alderperson.
So we
I'll
need
do
actually
it.
an alderman to, perfect. Do we have sign-in sheets? Does anyone need to sign in to speak on any of these bills that we have? Let's take care of that administrative business real quick first. Thank you. Mr. Golly. I don't think so.
Oh, I need 204. Oh, okay. So we already did 204, and this was the school? Is the school?
Correct.
Oh, is this, this is the school?
Yeah.
Is anyone here with them?
No, the developer's not here for this. So Board Bill 204 is before us right now. And I
Okay.
think, if I recall from the minutes of last time,
We're gonna,
we wanted some more salient details on the construction per square foot. I think some of those numbers is what the chairman, myself, and others had kind of a question mark around. Because we had thought we wanted to hold this to maybe give an additional
Tax
5
abatement,
years of
10 years.
abatement too. But I don't know, Dale, did you or anyone at SLDC receive some of those more salient details?
Aware of anything new that has come in, no.
so do we
Okay.
want to defer it?
I think we do.
so,
I
until
think,
we
well,
have-
we'll entertain a motion to, do we need a motion to hold this? Okay, I'll entertain a motion to hold this until the next meeting. Just because I think the developer was on vacation as well.
I move that we hold this until we can hear more information.
Second,
It's a motion, it's seconded.
we're not holding up anything.
You don't need to vote once it's seconded.
Call the roll.
Oh, okay,
Okay.
perfect.
As long as we're not holding any
Yep.
development up here is good.
It's a no vote, so that will be deferred for a table. Okay, got it.
It's a continuation of the holding from last period.
No, I understand. I just hope we're not holding up the project
No,
on beforehand.
they're already
Okay.
working.
By this, all this continuance.
Okay. Next on the agenda is Board Bill 254, also of Alderman Williamson. This is a redevelopment plan for 1301 Union. That's the bill in front of us.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, ma'am.
you have before you Board Bill 254, which is a renovation of, or
Oh.
existing demolition and
apologize,
existing
Alderwoman. I
commercial building
apologize,
in
sir.
the Hamilton Heights neighborhood.
Real quick, I need a motion to take this
Oh.
up first. My apologies.
I thought,
Clerk's helping me with protocol here.
okay.
I move that we take up Board Bill 254.
Second,
Second.
Did you need to call the roll to table the other one?
No, it's just a second.
All right.
Is that the same for this?
Yes.
Okay, you have before you Board Bill 254, which is a project that consists of the demolition of an existing commercial building in the Hamilton Heights neighborhood. The prospective developer plans on constructing a grocery store on the property and to provide for additional retail use on an out parcel. Total development cost is estimated to be $3,500,000. The redeveloper plans to utilize private funds for this project. Alderman Williamson wishes to support this project with a 10-year tax abatement, and the staff concurs. If you turn over on the next page, you can see the total value of the tax abatement is $1,122 over 10 years.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, we go.
There you
Let's take a look here. Okay. We'll go down the list with any questions on 254, Alderwoman Howard.
We have with us, Save-A-Lot is the developer, or is going to be the occupant. And we have with us Jacob Surratt from Save-A-Lot, is a real
excellent.
estate analyst.
Okay, so the developer or representative of the sponsorship is here if there's any questions. We'll just go down the line. Alderwoman Howard?
No questions.
No questions.
None.
Alderwoman Murphy?
So there's a building currently on the spot? When I look at the picture, I can't tell.
I'd like to respond to
Is that the,
Introduce yourself.
Hello, my name is Jacob Surratt, and I'm from Save-A-Lot's real estate department. The site is the old Pete's, thank you, I'm not used to being tall. The old Pete's Sure Save at Union and Page, that's been closed since December of 2016, and we are going to, Save-A-Lot is partnering with a developer. We are going to be the primary tenant. We're taking down the building and constructing a new freestanding building further towards Minerva, and then there will be an out parcel on the intersection that there is no plans currently. It's going to be market driven. The developer will be behind it. It could be, I don't know if you have a site plan, it could be a fast food restaurant, it could be a retail building, something that's going to go in there. There's no preliminary plan at all for that. That's completely down the road because we don't need the whole parcel, and so rather than having a sea of parking, there will be another use on the corner across from Walgreens.
thank you.
No problem.
No more questions?
Alderwoman Howard, go for it.
What do you have a prospective tenant for that space?
For the freestanding one,
Right.
no. It will be more than likely something that would go in that type of neighborhood. It could be like possibly an Aspen Dental or a DaVita Dialysis. Save-A-Lot will be involved with the developer. We're obviously not going to want a competing grocery store or some type of general merchandise, but it will be market-driven. It won't even be planned or started till after the Save-A-Lot's finished.
Alderwoman Spencer.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And the St. Louis Development Corporation is supporting a 10-year tax abatement on this project? What is the market value, the Mbna? The, do we have that in here? I'm sorry if I mentioned that. Okay, I see it. It's an H.
Yeah.
I'm not familiar with, how many letters do we have in that analysis? Well, it's near the bottom. Okay. Okay. All right, that's all I have. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Alderman Guenther, any questions?
Thank you. My question was just, so it has a grocery store on the property, so it was the old Pete's True Value or whatever. That building just is not feasible for putting a new grocery store in?
No, it was in pretty bad shape before it closed, and it's been sitting vacant, so it's pretty rough. It was
rough.
built in the 50s or 60s, so it had a lot of deferred maintenance even before it closed.
Okay. No further questions.
Alderwoman?
Is Save-A-Lot is a St. Louis-based corporation, am I right?
Yes.
And you've built a lot of new stores. You said you're with the real estate department of that corporation. Is there, how many additional stores is Save-A-Lot looking to put in the St. Louis City area in the next couple of years?
That is still kind of up for debate, where we obviously don't want to cannibalize any of our existing stores. So there's only a few more within the city where, if you look at a map and where our customers are coming from, it would definitely be less than 5. We're kind of going through a total reanalysis of our market everywhere. So in addition to new stores, kind of starting to take care of our existing stores and putting some capital in to remediate some of the deferred maintenance. So in the city, it could possibly be 2 or 3. It just depends. If the new remodeled stores do better than expected, there could be a potential for, in a couple of years, even more but in the near term, it's going to be a small number.
How many stores do you have citywide right now?
I believe it's about 8.
And you mentioned that you're going to be focusing on doing some deferred maintenance on those existing stores. How many of those stores are you planning on doing that?
In the city, all of them.
All of them?
Mhm.
Do you
At
have any,
different levels.
do you have any rough estimates on the amount of infrastructure that you're going to be putting into those?
They are actually still doing that in surveys, so it's kind of slowing my work down, so I wish I could give you a better answer. They're wanting to start as soon as possible. Newer stores, such as the one at Jefferson and 44, are going to require less work. They were recently renovated. That's the old Foodland. But some of our older stores that have been around for a while, there's going to be a significant amount of upgrades that go into them. Did that answer your question?
It does. I think Save-A-Lot is does a good job coming into neighborhoods that maybe other grocery stores wouldn't. We do appreciate the availability of fresh foods and other things in some of our neighborhoods where it is a challenge sometimes to get a grocery store. Some of the older stores are in need of facade treatment and upgrades, and I'm glad to hear that you're looking at doing that. That's all the questions I have, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
Okay, I have just a couple of questions. Who's the developer? You guys mentioned that Save-A-Lot's really just a tenant.
Yes, it's Hutton Development, and this is just the beginning. We're doing several deals with them, so it's not really a one-off. They are based in Chattanooga. They're the actual applicant. We're going to be doing several stores with them across the country, and this was the first one to be a partnership with them.
And they own the property right now? They have it under control?
Save-A-Lot actually has it under contract. We'll be transferring it to them.
Understood. And total development costs, I didn't see if that was in here, I'm sorry.
And that doesn't include what will be developed on the out parcel, I believe. That is just the existing.
No, I'm sorry, what is the total development cost?
3 point.
Is it in here?
Should be
3.5.
Oh, I'm sorry. Got it, okay.
3.7-ish.
Excellent. 3.5. Yeah. I don't know why I don't have it. Okay, just one more final question, sir, and thanks for coming in. Will
problem.
this be a corporate-owned store or a licensed franchise?
It will be a corporately owned store.
Great, perfect. Okay, good luck. I will entertain a motion to pass out the due pass recommendation, Board Bill 254.
So moved.
Second?
It's been moved, it's been seconded. Do a roll call.
Alderman Moore. Alderwoman Howard. Alderwoman Hubbard. Alderwoman Murphy.
Aye.
Alderwoman Spencer.
Aye.
Alderman Guenther.
Aye.
Alderman Oldenburg.
Aye.
Chairman Cohn. President Reed. You have 5 aye votes.
Excellent. Okay. The next board bill we have is from Alderman Guenther, Board Bill 257. I will entertain a motion to put Board Bill 257. We don't, but I think it's protocol.
I move that we put Board Bill 257 in front of us.
It's been moved that we take up Board Bill 257. It's in front of us. Is there a second? Let's give a second. Real quick.
Second.
Second? Thank you. Thank you, Alderman. The floor is yours for Board Bill 257.
Thank you, Co-Chairman and Development Committee Board. Board Bill 257 is 3434 and 3436 Indiana Avenue. These two properties are in the Marine Villa neighborhood, south of Cherokee. 3436 Indiana currently has a Habitat for Humanity house being built on it. I would say it's probably close to about 75 to 80% completed. And then 3434 Indiana Avenue has a house that's been vacant for a good 10 years or so, and that property is going to eventually be torn down and a new Habitat for Humanity house put in that place as well. So, so both of these properties will be Habitat homes. So I'm hoping to get approval for a 10-year tax abatement on them, 5 years, the first 5 years being 100% abated, and then the second 5 years being abated for 50% of the value. So when I was approached by Habitat for Humanity on this project, they were pretty clear that all of their projects they've done so far have been 10-year tax abatements, full 100% 10-year tax abatements. But after talking with them, I think it would be feasible to do the second 5 years at 50%, because their argument was that the tax abatement will help the homeowners to keep a low monthly payment on it, having a stable tax rate. But I think we agreed that by being able to get the second year at 50%, then it would raise them a little bit to prepare them for the fact that eventually after 10 years it will go off of tax abatement and they'll be paying the full value. So, so I am hoping that I can get a favorable vote for 3434 and 3436 Indiana, two affordable houses going into the Marine Villa in the 9th Ward. And with that, I will entertain any questions.
Excellent. Start with questions. Alderwoman Howard.
What is the sale price of these homes?
I don't know the exact sale price, but I know talking to a few of the people, they said they were usually around about 130,000 was what they.
150 in the notes.
Okay.
Okay, I got you.
Right.
I guess, okay, so we're going to fully abate taxes for the first 5 years,
Correct.
and then after the first 5 years, what will they be paying? What percentage?
50% of the abatement. So,
Okay.
so it'll go up, you know, from the full property value, it will just go up 50%.
Okay. Now,
from there.
is there a obligation of the person that participates with Habitat Humanity to remain in the housing for a certain amount of time? Do you know?
I'm not exactly sure about that, but I believe that it would be in there. There would probably be some sort of stipulation as to, you know, you want to, in order to be able to get to be approved for the affordable housing, kind of a discounted rate, that there would be some sort of stipulation to stay in there for a number of years. But I'm not exactly sure if it's written in the contract.
Yeah, I guess what I was wondering that, you know, we're doing this for someone to move into housing, you know, permanent housing. Do they have and I don't know, you know, would they have the opportunity to sell this after so long, you know? And that's just a question. It's no judgment.
Yeah. Yeah, I imagine that they would, but I'm not sure if they have to
What
stay
the
in there for the
time-
5 years or 10
Yeah,
years.
I think there is some
or-
caveat. They have to remain X amount of time, but
Okay.
just a question. Okay, thank you. That's all I have.
Okay.
Okay, Alderwoman Murphy.
No questions, thank you.
Alderwoman Spencer.
Thank you. No, I'm familiar with the project, and I have no further questions.
Alderman Guenther, do you have any questions about this project?
No, I think, yeah, I like this project.
I have no questions either. With that, if there's no further
I
questions.
move that we pass Board Bill 257 with a do-pass recommendation.
Been moved. It's been seconded.
Alderman Moore. Alderwoman Howard.
Aye.
Alderwoman Hubbard. Alderwoman Murphy.
Aye.
Alderwoman Spencer.
Aye.
Alderman Guenther. Alderman Oldenburg.
Aye.
Chairman Cohn. President Reed. You have 5 aye votes.
This is the
Mr.
old
Chairman.
Shepherd School.
Yes.
All right, excellent. The next board bill, Mr. Alderman Guenther, we will entertain 264. I'll entertain a motion to put that in front of us since we've been doing that
Second.
this morning.
I make a motion, we put Board Bill 264
Been
in
moved
front of
and
the committee.
seconded. Thank you. I lose this different.
Well, no,
I appreciate it. Proceed, Alderman, thank you.
we need those sheets.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Board Bill, thank you again. Board Bill 264 is for 3450 Wisconsin. This property is the former school building, the Sherman School.
Shepherd.
School, yeah.
Not- I worked there.
Shepherd School.
So did I.
Right. Shepherd School. And here with us today is the developer, Sharik Mansouri. I'll ask him to come up and maybe say a couple words about it as well.
Just state your name and the entity you work for.
Good morning. The company that's going to be developing it is mine. That is Greenstone Investments. Done several projects around the city. This
Can you
is
move up
a-
closer to the microphone, please?
That good?
What is the name of your company again?
It's Greenstone Investments.
Greenstone.
Yeah. So this is a beautiful historic Ittner building made in 1907, and I'm excited to convert this into 57 market rate apartments. They will be loft style because the ceilings are 14 feet. I'll try to stay to the pertinent facts rather than the architectural details. But it's a beautiful building, regardless. This is a private, the funding will be private. And what else can I tell you? It's going to have a gym in there. It's going to have common areas in there. One bedroom, two bedroom, three bedroom mix. Further questions?
Sure. Well, let's entertain questions if that sparks any more discussions. Thank you. Alderwoman Howard.
What would the, what are you anticipating the range of rents?
Targeting around 80 cents to 90 cents, depending on the size of the apartment. Some are
What does that
larger.
come out to, say, for a two-bedroom? About,
I think two bedrooms are being targeted at about 750 to 8.
okay. And these won't be subsidized? They'll be
No
market
subsidy,
rate?
no subsidy.
Okay. And what do you plan to do that has a large footprint in the neighborhood? The surrounding grounds? What do you
right.
plan to do with that?
Right, so there are 3 lots on Selena coming in that were owned by the school board.
Okay.
And there was another lot to the front on Wisconsin, that is 3420, that I did purchase from LRA last year. Those lots will be combined into this lot. The engineers have already worked that out, and it's going to be submitted to the city shortly for the 85 parking spots on here, so we needed that. Plus, the lot will be developed into, there will be some bioretentions, et cetera, so that one lot, for instance, 3420, will be largely a bioretention per MSD clear. So
So you'll
those-
be, yeah, the whole plumbing, I guess, will be
Correct. So
reconfigured, yeah.
what I wanted was, I didn't want an asphalt lot. Okay, so hopefully this turns out into something nice where there are paved areas, there are some green areas, and there is yet 85 parking spots.
So you will only be taking in the shaded place on this map? The other outlot that goes on up to, I believe, Cherokee, that goes on up to Lemp?
No, there's a lot at the back that's about 2.5 acres that
Uh-huh.
I also purchased, that to the back of the building, that
And
goes
that's
to
the gray
Lamp.
area on this map?
I don't know the map, but it should be going to Lamp.
Yeah, it goes over to Lemp, yeah.
Correct. There are no plans for that yet. I am under a timeline by the school board to finish this project.
Okay.
They give 30 months typically by contract with right of re-entry. They don't want these buildings sitting around, so I want to focus on this, get this done properly, and then as that's developed, I will be reaching out to
Okay, so you
Alderman
purchased
Guenther.
both that
Correct. Those
back
are
lot?
purchased, but there is a timeline that you have to execute this within, for that, and that's the school board requirement, SLPS.
In order to get this other parcel?
No, it's already
oh.
purchased for the whole thing,
Oh, I see,
But
I
there's
see.
nothing back there, so there's nothing I have to do,
Do, right,
technically.
okay, I got
But
you.
this is a building that has to be finished by end of this year.
How long ago did you take this?
June 16.
Oh, okay.
Correct.
Well, I wish you luck, and that is where I started my career, in that building.
You went to school there?
No, I taught there.
You taught there? Wow. It's
So when you
amazing how many
finish, I would
people.
love to see it. Yeah, I started there
So
in
many people have reached
1981.
out, like, that went to school there, that want to do, we are looking to do a reunion there sometime this fall. Some students have reached out. Maybe
Yeah.
you'd want to come to that.
I
And
will-
if you have some old photographs, so I told them too that I'd like to put some like in the basement hallways and stuff.
Well, if there's old photographs of me, it's when I was young.
So if you have some of those, I'd love them.
I will look through. I may. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'm looking forward to it. I go by there and it's so forlorn, but hopefully you'll be bringing it back to life, breathing life in it. Thank
Yes.
you.
Okay, Alderwoman Murphy.
I too started teaching there, I said in 1972.
Oh, my God.
And I have the original number that was over my door. They were always porcelain years ago. And so I have a 10 that's in porcelain. And they gave it to me when they put up some new plastic ones. And I said, oh, can I have my room number? And they said, yes. So I still have it. I'll have to bring it down and see who's in that room I taught in. But you're going to keep the integrity of the entrance coming in.
Oh,
and-
I
okay.
can't, even if I wanted to change.
Because like
I
you
mean,
said, those
the
buildings
yeah,
are
I mean,
beautiful.
DED and everybody will just throw me out of there if I try to change it. You know, that, plus you want to preserve that.
Yeah, it
Sure.
it harkens back to a time when public
Including the
concern was loved public education.
Yeah, no, all the historic integrity, the whole idea of that is that, you know, you need to save that in a historic rehab.
Okay, good. I wish you the best.
It is an Intner building.
Yes, it is an Intner building. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. That's all.
Alderwoman Spencer.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Somewhat familiar with the project, living in the Marineville neighborhood. I know that this particular building has been a real challenge to find somebody to take on. The last time I went through it was probably 5 years ago, and I distinctly remember a lot of bullet holes in some of
Yes.
the woodworking, which was really a shame to see. I understood that the St. Louis public school system had rented it out to the FBI or some other organizations to do some, training. And so while there's some damage, obviously still a very, very impressive and beautiful facility. We're really grateful that you're taking this project on. I think it will be a very net positive for the neighborhood. So I have no questions. I just wanted to add that.
Excellent.
I have, yeah, I just have just a couple of questions and be moving. One is, do you have the first debt position secured, the 2.7 million-ish?
Yes.
You do, okay. And that's just with it's a conventional construction conversion loan?
Correct.
Okay, excellent. I might have a question for SLDC, Dale, if you wouldn't mind. I just want to make sure, when we're putting this sheet together, the sheet that's got the financial impact report, and we mentioned that there are federal and state historic tax credits, is that amount the credit amount, or is that the anticipated or approximate equity cash? Do you know? Just curious.
I don't know the answer to that. John
Yeah.
isn't here.
It would likely be the equity. I wonder what his assumptions are.
Yeah.
I can probably address that
Okay.
because those are very close to my numbers. Those are the credits that will come through from both federal and state side, yes.
So
And
that's
they
the
were
amount
within
of
20,
credits.
30,000 of my estimates, so I would think he's calculated them the same way.
I'm sorry, say that again?
I would think he calculated them the same way because my numbers are very close to that.
Right, but is that the amount of credits, or is that the amount of actual equity that you anticipate?
That is part of the total sum that's needed, so you back that off from the 4.4 total, and then you take the loan off, and then you're left with the equity number. That's the private equity number.
Understood.
So there are four components with the federal. The federal state taxes, the state tax credits, the private equity, and then the loan.
Correct. Okay.
Is that answering your question?
No, I
Okay,
just,
sorry.
I don't know.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, I'm aware. What was your question?
I didn't
then?
know if that was the actual credit amount that the QREs, the Qualified Rehabilitation Expense?
Yes, it
Okay,
should
so
be.
that's a credit
It's
amount.
estimated at this point, depending on the expenses that's handed in.
Of
So what
course.
happens is you collect all the expenses, and then the accountants do the audit on it and blah, blah, create the report. And so you may estimate that it is 500 and it comes out to 450
Yeah,
or
no.
whatever.
Understood.
I'm not answering your question.
No,
feel.
and I think it's maybe just an SLDC question and a Jonathan question, because often a dollar for dollar, the amount of credits you get and the amount an investor will monetize is not the same. Often they'll pay 90 cents on the dollar or 95
Correct.
cents.
It's 92 cents right
Oh,
now for
that's-
state.
okay. And then- so my only question is, we just want to make sure we get that arithmetic right when we're doing the accounts. Is
I
that the
don't know
credit
if-
amount, or is that the, an estimated equity amount? There's a difference. Tax equity amount is all.
So I don't know how he did it,
Yeah.
but my numbers are very close, and I did it at
And
92
your budget,
cents.
your sources and uses is around that 4.8 number is my point. Okay, so there'll be a plug and play in the budget. So maybe that's just a question I'll ask Jonathan. Okay. Okay. Thank you, sir. I have no more questions. I will entertain a motion to pass this out.
I move that we pass Board Bill 264 with a do pass recommendation.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded.
Alderman Howard,
Aye.
or Alderwoman Howard, I apologize. Alderman Moore. Alderwoman Hubbard. Alderwoman Murphy. Alderwoman Spencer.
Aye.
Alderman Guenther.
Aye.
Alderman Oldenburg.
Aye.
Alderman Cone. President Reed, you have 5 ayes votes, Mr. Chairman.
Excellent. All right. Having no further business, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
I move that we adjourn.
It's been moved. Any second to adjourn? Second. Seconded by Alderman Guenther. So moved and seconded. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. City's business.